jump on who kind of helped formulate this topic for today. So we're going to be talking about pre-listing packet today. Adam, Sherry, you probably saw that in the group chat on Facebook that I was going to be doing that. Why are you here? Other than is that what brought you? I know you guys are consistently here in my trainings, but what do you hope to get out of training around pre-listing packet? What can I make sure I deliver on when it comes to pre-listing packet? What information do you want? And Gary, you can chat. One second. And Gary, you can hit, I'll monitor the chat box. So I'll see anything you put in there, Gary, if you got something. Go ahead, Adam.
I was gonna say like what's included or what not to include. Don't not overstuffing it, kind of.
Okay, so what to include and not include. Got it. What else?
I know for me, like, since I don't have like stats or whatever, what I can use for like referrals or something referral based that might be, I don't know what I'm trying to say, like, like
how to sell yourself.
Yes.
All right, got it. Okay, anything else? Hold on. Gary has, I'm a brand new agent, currently dual career, but want to transition to catering solely. Okay, so transitioning from so kind of along the lines of Sherry, like how do you sell yourself right when you're transitioning from a part-time agent to full-time? And here's the thing, I wouldn't tell anybody that you're not full-time, by the way. You are full-time. Heather, we're gonna be, Heather, can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Perfect. So Adam and Sherry and Gary just shared what they're hoping to get out of today's conversation. Today, the goal is to focus around the pre-listing packet. Is there anything particular that you want to hope to get out of today?
Well, mainly, I guess the contents. I feel mine's a little long.
Okay.
So I'd like to kind of, just pare it down and make it sleek and chic.
Okay, perfect. All right. Let's get going. And I'll screen share here in just a moment. Yet I want to have a quick, very candid kind of conversation because it's a situation I was just dealing with this morning. Kind of relates a little bit to this topic, and yeah, really anything real estate related. I think if you go on Google right now, and I Googled it, and I don't know if you'll get a different result. Do you guys know what the percentage of agents that fail and get out of the business is in the first 5 years?
No.
Take a guess. Just wild guess. Somebody take one guess.
80%.
80. Heather, what were you going to say?
I said 60.
60. Okay. So NAR, the last one, again, I Googled it because I wanted to see what the latest, but I couldn't find the latest NAR stats. So you guys probably know the National Association of Realtors does do a lot of statistics every other year that they do about different things. And when it came to failure rate in real estate, it's about 87% of agents fail in the first 5 years in business. What are your thoughts on that? Go for it, Heather.
Don't want to be one.
Don't want to be one. Yeah, definitely don't want to be one. What else?
I mean, I would say that's true because I would just say that's true because it can get discouraging. But if you are linked up with KW, I don't see how you can. No, I'm just, because you're given the right tools and the resources and the systems that are in place, is you're just flat out not doing any of them.
Yeah.
I mean, because it could be discouraging.
Well, let's hit on that right now. I love what you said that, right? With KW, right tools, right systems. Obviously, I'm biased. I've been with KW now since 2017. I was at a different brokerage before KW, just for everybody that's on this call. And here's my overall take on brokerages. At the end of the day, they all have some value to offer their agents, some more than others. That's simple. I don't think there's anyone out there that is out to make bad agents, that's out there to just take from agents. I don't think any of them do that. Ultimately, every brokerage, I think, has good intentions. Some are just better set up than others in order to provide that. Now, I do believe, yes, that KW has that. Now, I came to KW because I was kind of Gary, hopefully you can hear what I'm saying here, but I was dual career. I worked at as a general manager for a Best Buy store, and I was making my transition away from that. And when I was doing it part-time, working at this other brokerage, I mean, at the end of the day, they just weren't set up with the same type of level of training that we receive at KW. And I think sometimes we take it for granted what we do have. So I came to KW for the training, the culture and support and just the people over the years that I've met and networked with nationwide keep me here. I got a lot of nationwide relationships that definitely have gone a long way. Now, at the same time, we have a lot of training, yet that can also become a problem. Why can that become a problem? All the training and everything that's available, all the tools, all the models, all the systems.
But it's overwhelming.
Well, you don't know what to pick from sometimes.
Overwhelming, don't know what to pick from. What else?
It's a lot of learning, it's a lot of info
Yeah.
Mhm.
put to practical use.
Yeah. Well, today, I had a visit today from an agent. We were doing a one-on-one and a private one-on-one, and they had a listing opportunity come up. Again, this is what triggered a pre-listing packet conversation for today, and we'll make sure we'll get into that. Get too focused on training. Yeah, Gary. So yeah, Gary wrote in the comments, getting too focused on training. Yeah, so training, and no action. That definitely shows up quite a bit as well. So an agent came to me and said, hey, I have this opportunity of property I'm renting that I was a renter in, I'm moving out, and the landlord is thinking about selling property, and mentioned that they'd interview me. This agent, first off, they've never been to a listing presentation before. They've never done a CMA before. They don't know what a pre-list packet is. So they weren't prepped for it. So how do you think that agent was feeling today?
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Nervous, Heather, what did you say?
Nervous.
Oh,
Yeah.
nervous. Okay. Yeah. Nervous. Yeah. They came up to me and said, hey, I want to do a CMA. And my disclaimer was, hey, it's a science. It takes time. There's no way I can teach you today how to do a CMA, and you're going to be an expert when you leave. It's an ongoing skill that you build. We can take 10 agents, 10 appraisers, and all 20 people will have different results. Would you agree?
Yes.
Yeah, there'll be a different number on the sheet. Nonetheless, we got through it, right? We did have a recorded training. So anybody on here that doesn't know how to do a CMA yet, I did record a training last week. It's on the YouTube channel. So just type in KW Naples Marco. There's a video I did. It's about an hour and a half long. And even then, there's still a lot more to teach. That was just kind of the beginning of it, right? So if that's where you're at right now, that you've never done a CMA, like, hey, you might want to go revisit that video and anything else that relates to what you're working on. But it got me thinking about this before I get into the pre-list packet. It got me thinking about, okay, all this training is available. I try to put myself back when I was in that seat of brand new, trying to learn everything. And the only thing that quite made sense for me to advise you and anyone who watches this video later on is that, listen, there's so much to learn. We're always learning. That the best thing you can do is have a growth plan for yourself. And a growth plan is nothing more but what month we're in and what 3 skills we're working on this month. What month that we're in and what skill are we working on this month? So for the agent that I was talking to, of course, CMA and listing presentation was the skill that they're going to focus on this month. Now, I do want to reiterate for everybody here, like if you've taken Ignite and you literally follow the modules of Ignite and what they talk about in that order, like that can be your growth plan. All the topics, everything you need to be learning is in Ignite, and that's a good foundational course. To layer on top of that, then you take Ignite courses, layer on maybe some classes from the board, some additional classes from the office, some group coaching, and some one-on-one. You layer them on, but at the end of the day, just know that your foundation is always going to be Ignite. And if you don't have a very clear plan of what you're working on next month, so right now it's a pretty fresh start for the month of July. If you don't have a clear plan of what you should be working on, maybe today's topic will be it. Maybe you'll find that there's something else, but please, team, slow down. And I know all of you are in different levels right now. Heather's our more tenured agent, so maybe what I'm saying right now doesn't quite relate fully yet. Slow down, make a growth plan, And just know that you're building a business, guys. You are building a business, and that the growth of that business only grows to the extent that you do. That growth of that business will only grow to the extent that you do. Okay. Let's get into some pre-listed stuff. Appreciate you guys hearing me out there. I just don't want anyone to feel like that agent did, which they felt a little bit, maybe, I don't know if helpless is the word, but definitely overwhelmed with how much it was coming at them right now with just a listing presentation. And you know, we didn't get into this business for stress. You know, we got into it to make some money, right? All right. So I'm going to screen share in just a moment, but I want to hear from you. So does anybody here have a pre-list packet or anything that they bring to an appointment or send out in advance of an appointment to a seller?
I do have something, but I guess I'm a little confused between what's a pre-listing packet and what's a listing presentation.
Yeah. Well, they're the same. So let's kind of have some dialogue around it. Then I'll go to the screen share so you guys can see some different things. So let's think about this journey to getting getting a listing appointment. So, Heather, your last listing appointment, where did it come from? Like, what's the source where the relationship came from?
It was from my husband.
Okay, so your husband had somebody at work or a friend? What was it?
Someone that he was doing some handyman work for.
Okay, so husband's doing some handiwork, man work, and he provides your card, or
Yes.
how did that? Okay,
Yeah.
And then who called who?
I reached out first, and then we started a dialogue, and we met in person, and I brought some paperwork later.
Well, let's slow it down right there. Okay, perfect. So we know the lead source came from a sphere of influence, your husband. That's the lead source. You called out. Now, here is where our systems and models begin. The goal when we're servicing a buyer and a seller, regardless of who it is that we have a system and a model that we process that's duplicatable customer to customer. When Heather has a great presentation, and not only just a great initial call to obviously having a great transaction, customers are going to become raving fans. Now, if Heather gets a referral from the seller, but now this other seller has a whole different experience because Heather doesn't follow the same consistent process, then it's like, whoa, wait a minute. I don't know what happened. I don't know what Heather you received, but the Heather I had wasn't on her game. Heather, I'm sorry, I'm picking you right now. I think you can take it, right? It's pick on Heather day, right? So because there was no system and model in this scenario that I'm painting right now. There's nothing that's duplicatable. So everything I'm about to walk you through is a system and a model that allows you to create have an experience that's duplicatable customer to customer, that then you can obviously gauge how you're doing and make improvements on that. Look at systems and model just like that. That's what they are. So the first system that you could use when Heather got that appointment, or that referral, it was that lead sheet, the pre-qualifying lead sheet for a seller. Have you guys ever seen one before? All right, let me.
No.
I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to pretend everything we're going to go through you guys have not seen. Let's just kind of approach it that way. So, and I'll share all these tools. So Rose, just please make sure that we get all these tools to the agents on our call today. I'm going to minimize here my screen so I can see you guys better. I can see the screen better. Okay, you guys see the screen says pre-listing lead sheet.
Mhm.
Yep.
This is a very simple generic one from Keller Williams. I literally just found it in my drive. I think I had downloaded from KW Connect. I'll get you guys one. This is just a downloadable document and you can edit it. At its simplest form, you see that it's just all the contact information up top. Notice some information it's asking for. What do you see under contact info that maybe is unique that you didn't think would be on there as information that we want to gather?
I
Name
have
of
a
children.
number of children.
Yeah, no, why is that on there?
Relationship.
Yeah, relationship. The one that I used, I actually even went to the extent of having on their date of births and all of that too, as much as they'd be willing to share with me so I can add to my database, because the more information I have about my people in my database, the more I can nurture that relation, or the better the quality of the nurture with that individual. So the stuff is pretty straightforward. Contact information, best way to get in touch with you, right? What do I want to know? Is call, text, or phone call better for you? What times of the day are best for me to contact or communicate with you? Moving on. So this is on that initial call. So Heather literally is giving me a call. Hey, Jordas, my husband gave you, no, we're not married, by the way, anybody watching, recording. He provided me your phone number and mentioned that you might looking to be selling a property at 123 Main Street. And then you get into the series of questions. What are the first things we're looking to find? Motivation. So Heather, why are you moving? And we're not going to dialogue it. We're not going to dialogue it. But so what are we looking for? We're looking, why is Heather moving?
Motivation.
Where is she moving to? Are you already working with a buyer's agent where you're moving? Because if you're not, I'm going to hopefully refer you to one of mine. How soon do you need to be there? Will motivation be different if Heather tells me she needs to be there in August versus if she tells me she needs to be in January of 2024? Way different motivation and time frame. So that's important to know. Is there any corporate relocation assistance? Yes or no? Are you considering for sale by owner? No, we're not planting the seed in their mind to do it. We want to know, are they already thinking about it?
Mm-hmm.
So we know how to handle that if it is something they're contemplating. And then level of motivation. So you know, Heather, if we had to put a scale, a number on this from 1 to 10, 10 is like I absolutely need to move on this time frame you just mentioned. What would you rate it? It's a 10. Well, you know, Heather's very motivated. And this is going to be very important later on when you're having pricing conversations. This is going to be super important later on when you're having pricing conversations about either they want to list it too high or we've listed it and now we need to reduce the price. This motivation is going to help you to have that price reduction conversation. Any question on that before I move to the next part? Okay. Next part of it, house. So tell me a little bit about your house. Not looking you to tell me everything, just tell me, give me a little highlight about your property. At the end of the day, it's going to help me with my CMA when I go to do it. 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, how many garages do you have? Have you done any updates? Generally speaking, what I like about this question as well is that the more detailed they are in their answer, the more I can see that they're more like an S or C personality. So that means when I go back to present, I need to bring my details and I need to make sure I know my numbers really well versus somebody high D that they can just get straight to the point. So how they answer this question is also how I even approach my actual presentation with them at the house. Square footage, bedrooms, bathrooms, type of house is it? How long have you owned it? Any updates to the house? Is there a pool? So we're just asking, we're getting some general information that we probably already know because it's probably either there from a previous listing or it's on Zillow or something like that. But we want to hear from them because we want to know, is there anything about the property that ultimately is going to determine value or help either add value or take value away? Because if they told me, for example, it needs a new roof, new AC, and it needs a new water heater, is that going to affect value? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Financials. Now, sometimes I don't get this right away. Maybe I'm not on the initial call. Maybe I end up doing it on the follow-up call before my appointment. It just depends on how much time I have on the phone with them. So let me just kind of go back for a second. When I call them, we're calling to set an appointment. And when you set that appointment, the next part is, hey, do you have a few moments to answer some questions to help me better prepare for that appointment? This is not the listing presentation. This is just to prepare you for your presentation. So then the next thing you get, okay, how much do you think your house is worth? They're probably going to answer one of 2 ways. Well, they can answer multiple ways, but they could say, I have no idea. That's why we're meeting with you. Or I think I work for around 500,000, but when we meet with you, hopefully you can tell us exactly what it is. Those are 2 ways that answer can go. Or they can just tell you some like really outrageous number. How much do you owe anything on the property? Is there a certain net you need to make this move? Are you up to date on payments? Are you the sole owner of the house? That's an important one. If you're not the sole owner of the house and there's 2 other parties, let's just say, so 3 owners, do we want to meet with just one owner? Or do we want to meet with all 3?
All 3.
All 3.
Yeah. The last thing you want to do is go on a listing appointment, talk to one of the 3, and then they say, okay, well, thank you so much. I got to go talk to the other 2 now. You've lost control. You want to win all 3 over, so you want all people present. Now, of course, we know sometimes in a situation like that, 3 owners, maybe they don't all live in the same town. So in that situation, you may need to set up a Zoom even, or be present with the ones that can be present and have the other ones on Zoom or on video or some type of video or phone call at that point. All right. Once we have that information, so how did you hear about our team? I mean, this may or may not apply in this case in Heather's situation. It doesn't apply. Heather heard, I mean, unless she did need to verify, but she heard, obviously the seller heard from her husband. So that was the answer to that. 24 says, you know, so, you know, Heather's asking, so Jordas, you know, what are 3 things that you expect from the realtor you end up hiring? What are we looking for here? We're looking to find out what in that question?
What they expect of you?
Yeah, so, you know, Heather, the one, you know, when you pick an agent, what are 3 things that you expect from your agent? Right, and we'll talk, so after they answer that, I say, and will you be interviewing other realtors? Why do I want to know that? All right, guys, no right or wrong.
Because you want to know who's your competition.
Yeah, competition.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I'm not saying that we don't bring our A game every time. I am saying that it helps to know who you're up against.
Yes.
Here's the important thing here. Really, have there been times I have not asked number 25? Yeah, there's been times I haven't asked that. I was like, you know, who cares? I'm going in, I'm going to win this listing. But I do want to know what's important to them about the realtor they hire. Because during my interview with them, and even what's in my pre-listing packet, and here's the thing, I'm going to be very clear, my pre-listing packet doesn't really change. It's the packet. Could it evolve over time? Like, for example, if you dealt with a specific objection every single time, or more than half the times that you're on a presentation, well, then maybe it's something you need to work into your pre-listing packet. But ultimately, it's going to allow you to know you know, when they hire you, what are the 3 things that they're looking for in you? I don't know. Maybe it's great communication. Maybe it's great negotiation skills. Yeah, maybe it's that you have to be at every showing. I would want to know that up front if that's what you want from me. So get to know what their expectations of you are. If there's any other notes or anything you need to put in there, this is where you would put your other information. And then again, we're setting the appointment. So today's Wednesday, so we're going to set the appointment for 4 o'clock on Friday. All right. Appointment is set. We've gathered information with the lead sheet. What questions do you have? And then there's one more thing I want to hit before we go to the next part. Any questions though so far on what is on the lead sheet?
No, that's good.
All right. And just comment, guys, because I'm working off a small screen today, so I really can't see the video. I'm only able to see what I'm sharing. So just make a comment, that way I know to move on. All right, so we've utilized the seller lead sheet to gather information. We've set the appointment for 4 p.m. on Friday. Here's where the pre-listing packet comes into play. So Heather, so I'm looking forward to seeing you at 4 o'clock on Friday. What I'd like to do is I'm going to send over a packet of information. Now, we're meeting Friday. Postal Service has been a little slow as of late. So if I may, I'm going to email you a document for you to review. In that document, it's going to talk about our team, Keller Williams, what we do to help get your property sold and get you top dollar. Will you please review that package before our appointment on Friday at 4? Say yes.
Yes.
All right. What did you hear me say? Because I know you
that you want me to look at the packet before you arrive, not bring the packet with me.
Right. Now we are bringing it with us because we can't bank on the fact that they did look at it or printed it themselves. We always have a packet on us. Always.
Right. Okay. But I mean, they have it first.
Yeah, they have it first. Here is the idea behind the packet. The idea behind this is to sell you and your services well before you're even there. Because here's the reality of it. If I have an hour listing presentation, and I mean, realistically, I think that could be pushing it in some cases. I mean, you should really shoot for maybe 30, 45 minutes. But let's just call it an hour for the sake of it, right? Here's the thing. If you take the listing, yeah, you're going to be there at least an hour. If you don't, they're not hiring you, you'll know, and you're not going to be there an hour. So let's just call it an hour that we're there. If I were to look at that hour presentation, and I've done it both ways, guys, by the way, I've done it where I've never sent a packet out and I get there and I'm having to review, hey, here's me and here's Keller Williams and here's what I can do for you. That hour gets taken up by this. And we haven't even touched, again, their motivation, their time frame, comps, pricing conversation. We haven't even had this yet. Why? Because I've been hung up on selling myself. So it literally was an appointment about me versus an appointment about them. So going back to even the call on the phone. So Heather, I'm going to send over a package of information to you via email. It's going to be in a PDF format. The purpose behind this package is to allow you to learn a little bit more about us, our team, our company, what we do to get properties sold. Because when I come out to your house on Friday at 4 o'clock, I really want to be focused on you, your motivation to sell, and determining the right price that's going to cause your home to sell. I'm not talking about me. I will answer any questions that do come up as you're looking over the packet. I will answer those questions at our appointment on Friday. Questions? What are you hearing me say? What are you thinking right now? What are you feeling? Let me get some feedback.
Yeah, I think that's a great plan because like, I didn't really know like the process. Like I knew you emailed them or you can, run it over there to them or something like that, the packet, but like that lead sheet, is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, what you just explained, I didn't really know any of it. So
Good.
thank you. Yeah.
All right, so we've sent this packet over to them via email. We're going to obviously discuss what this package is, but I want to just show you a couple of quick things, tools. So we'll get this one over to you now. Hold on, let me double check the chat box. I think somebody had said something to me. Yep. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Rose. Yeah, everything on the call, guys, will be shared with you, so don't worry about that. I want to really quick first before I even get to the tool. I want to remind you of what is in the Ignite script book. If you've taken Ignite, you should have already seen this book. If you haven't taken it, Ignite is going to be all your scripts, your conversations that you should be learning as a real estate agent. Honestly, whether you've been a week on the in real estate or 10 years in real estate, you should always have something, some type of script or dialogue or conversation book that's guiding your appointment. Because here's the reality: if I went into every appointment with no actual plan, no flow for my presentation, how can I create consistency and build a scalable business? I couldn't. Because if I was going to bring on agents to be a part of my team, but yet every presentation of mine is different, how can I teach somebody to do this presentation in a way that converts so we can continue to scale the business? We couldn't. It's too unique. So in the book here, and looks like it starts on page 23, there's an actual outline for you of what the listing presentation appointment could look like and what you're going to be discussing. And I want to hit really fast if you look at it. So this is like the opening. So thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to get your home sold. Review the pre-listing packet you left with the seller. Did you have a chance to review the guide to selling your home I left you? That's what they called it. And if they say yes, great. And did you complete the questionnaire at the back? Do you have any questions about anything that was presented? We're already getting that out of the way. Now they're going to say, no, everything's great. Like you. Let's go. Let's move forward. Or they haven't, and then you may have to review some things around what you offer services wise. So that's your opener. Then here it says here, so goals for today's listing appointment. So we've got 6 goals for today's meeting, and then you're going to quickly run through them. This could be printed, by the way. This could literally be in your presentation. It should be. We're going to discuss your motivation to sell this house. We're going to define your 10 plus customer service experience expectations. We're going to review what you expect from Keller Williams and me. We're going to explain the selling process from listing to closing. We're going to review the 3 factors that get your home sold, and we're going to decide to work together. That's the next part of the presentation. And then the whole flow is there for you guys. So I'm really showing you this, guys, for you guys to know that if you don't already have an outline for your listing presentation, here's a great outline for you to follow. Full disclaimer, I took my first Bold, and for those that don't know what it is, Bold is an 7-week mindset skill building coaching program that KW puts together. I've taken it 9 or 10 times now, and I took my first one in March of 2017. That's 3 months after becoming a full-time realtor. Full transparency, I never even had the opportunity to learn the Ignite one because I jumped straight into Bold, and I ended up learning the Bold presentation from back then. And I still to this day do the Bold presentation. Obviously the same goal of getting the listing with a little bit of variation of how it's presented. So I've never, I've looked at this one and I've looked at the Bold one. I think the Bold one is just more straight to the point. Both styles there's a little bit of difference in style, but overall they do both achieve the same thing. I think brand new, haven't been in a presentation, this one that's in front of us, it's a great one for you. So just wanted to throw that out there. If you see Bold comes back around in October, highly recommend taking a look at it. Personally, again, I like that presentation, but this one's really good too as well. So I just want you to know that. I'm not going to go through the rest of it. I wanted you to know that it's there for you. So I want to get into now onto the pre-listing packet and what's in there. Any questions about anything so far that I covered, lead sheet or the script book, before I move on?
What pages did you say? 20
Starts on in the Ignite book. It starts on page 23. Looks like
23 to 25. Okay,
page
thank you.
23. All right, thank you. All right, the next thing. So I'm going to literally show you. I think I have 3 variations of potential presentations, that pre-list packets that you can put, send out. Before I even show you those, let me just kind of, I wrote a list of some things that real quick that we can put in there, and then we can just have a discussion around what else might be something to consider. Let me check the box here. All right. So some obvious ones are your bio. Do you have a bio for yourself? Another one, team. Is there a bio for your team? Now, the first question most people say, well, I don't have a team. You do. Do you guys know who your team is if you are a single agent?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, who's your team?
Our brokerage, like broker Jeff, you.
Yeah. Actually, you can put broker Jeff and myself on your presentation. Also, title companies, lenders, inspectors that you use, all that, property managers you use if property management is needed, all that is your team. So it's funny because people would ask me, who's the Pro Scout group? Well, the Pro Scout group for a short time when I started was just me, but it was me and my partners, people that I always use the same inspectors, I use the same lenders, I use the same title companies. That was my team. So that's who we're alluding to here. And what I'm showing them is, hey, we all have a different role in the process. You have a team of experts. You're not just hiring me. You have a team of experts that you're hiring to get the job done of getting your home sold. Past sales you can have in there. If you don't have past sales, you can use the Market Center stats.
Okay.
We can use the Market Center stats for that. Reviews. If you don't have past reviews, then maybe we would just not have that yet until we have some reviews.
Okay. Yeah, that was my question.
Yeah.
Because
Simple
I don't
answer.
have any reviews yet. So just delete that out. I don't have any reviews yet. So just delete that.
Just don't
Okay.
put that page in. Yeah, just don't put that page in for now. Unless you wanted to just could you technically could I argue that I could use general KW reviews? Probably, but I just don't want to play with that because again, they're hiring me and my business, not necessarily KW. And I'm going to reiterate that right now on camera with you guys. They're hiring you, not KW. KW provides you tools, systems, models to run your real estate business, but it is you that they are hiring. When they don't hire you, they did not hire KW. They didn't hire you because you can take 2 KW agents, one that doesn't have systems and models and just kind of goes with the flow, and then take another one that treats it like a business, and it's going to be a night and day difference, and the customer will hire them. So keep that in mind. It's not KW they're not hiring, it's you. So you got to get your systems and models tight. So why KW could be on there. Another one is your marketing plan. what is your marketing plan?
Mhm.
You can map that out. And again, I'm gonna show you examples real quick in a second here and just listing a few things. Now, this one I don't have the image of. I think I might be able to find it in our call real quick. But if Rose, remind me to make sure I get this one. There's a diagram. I'm going to call it the fish diagram. I don't know if the Naples agents have seen it. Jeff generally always talks about it. Do you guys ever seen Jeff have the diagram of the guys fishing and there's 3 lines in the water? Is any of this ringing a bell right now? Just so I know if Heather, you've
No.
seen it.
I
Yes,
have
I have it in my presentation.
Yep, that's something that you can even incorporate into there. And it's literally just about pricing and how to make sure you're pricing homes correctly. That's kind of sums it up. So could you have more than this in there? Yes, but that's the start of it. So let me actually show you guys some samples. And here's the thing, team, I want to reiterate something here. What you're about to see are systems and models agents have used. But here's the thing, I mean, there's, I think there's 4 of you on the call, like you're each different. So we all do the same thing from A to Z, but at the end of the day, make sure that you're customizing your package to you as well. You may have the same stuff, but just make sure wherever you feel like you're unique and you bring value, this is where you have that opportunity to highlight that value and that uniqueness. So this is a simple one. It's just called A Guide to Selling Your Home. And it's just the agent branded it at the bottom, Matt Cooper, the Tampa market area. He's got his information down at the bottom. And then it's a guide, it's all about you. This is just talks about our real estate business is built around one guiding principle. It's all about you, your needs, your dreams, etc. I'm not going to read every page. What we deliver. So here's going to talk about communication, experience and expertise, marketing, pricing, staging, satisfaction. Then he has the home selling process, getting ready to list. So this is literally his whole process for getting this home ready for the market. The list continues. Talks about competition, talks about timing. Again, we're going to share all these so you can look at them. Then he goes into how home buyers find the home they purchase. So this is highlighting where most buyers are looking. People think, oh my God, open houses, people buy them there. I mean, sometimes they do, but it's a lower percentage. If you look at it, the percentage of people that buy home from open houses is lower. It's generally speaking, they found it online. So, when I look at that, I like to reiterate to them here that you're going to have the best marketing. You're going to have professional photography, professional videos, all that's going to be professionally done. I'm not going to be coming into your house with my iPhone to do that.
Oh my goodness.
I will judge you, by the way, if you take listing pictures with your iPhone.
That's crazy.
I will judge you. All right, next he goes into the home selling. Okay, so marketing your property. So here he goes into his 14-step marketing plan. And he bullets out everything he's going to do. This is where you make it unique, by the way. You can take a bunch of different templates, put them together, but here's the thing. You got to read it and say, hey, is this actually what I do? If I don't do it, remove it. Like I've seen some agents have social media on theirs that I'm going to market your house on social media. I'm like, have you ever done it? No, I haven't. I don't. Well, then why do you have that on the package? You don't want to overpromise and underdeliver. So that's what he's got his 14-step marketing plan. Then he talks about staging. Looks like staging is a big part of his value proposition. Then he talks about the closing and beyond. He has questions to ask your agent. Maybe this one I probably wouldn't include if I'm brand new, because here goes, or dual career, because here's how you're full-time or part-time. Obviously, don't set your stuff up if you or dual career or part-time. But you could potentially have questions to ask your agent here. Questions for you. So this is now preparing them like for, hey, you're basically listing with me. Here are the things I need to know. So what is the most important thing you look for in your listing agent? What prior real estate transactions have you had? So this is like this is the homework that they're referring to, or in the script where it says, hey, did you do the work in the back? This is what he's referring to in this example. He has reviews at the end. So what clients say. And that's it. And it's a back cover sheet. This one's only 13 pages.
Mhm.
That's one example. This one is actually an old template of mine that I used to use, so don't judge me on the design of it. I had it so that it could be editable. So this is the one I was making for Marco, but not a nice design. You can do way better. This one is going to be, so I get to know us. This is where the bio and headshot would be. Then it talks about value partnerships. This is where I talk about the photographer, the title companies, lender, home inspections. Then I go into why Keller Williams. Then it goes into past sales, so track record of sales. And actually, guys, although I judge myself now in the design because I've seen some nicer stuff created these days, but this is literally the packet, and obviously a completed one, but this is the format I used to take with me. And I still took listings, and this doesn't even look that great in my opinion now that I look at it years later. But this right here took listings. Track record, client reviews would be in there, and then we got into the marketing strategy. Then I just started talking about our reaching buyers. So this kind of goes to that same bar graph that we saw earlier, right? Where the buyers come from and how our marketing strategy will help expose it to the most potential buyers out there. Then it went into our technological advantage as far as the fact that we list on over 750 websites. Keep going. Then I had this right here was preparing your listing for sale. So just some things for them for exterior, interior, and showings to help prepare. Then I went into some key market factors that affect pricing. So this is where I just got into price, condition, competition, timing, location. Then it went deeper into how to price it right. The right price is important and why it's important. So I'm already pre-selling them in advance on pricing. I went into this one right here, which some of you might have seen at the last team meeting from Jeff, which is very similar to what Jeff presented. When you list your property at market value, you're attracting 60% of the buyers. When you list it above market value, so in this case, 10% above, you're now only attracting 30% of the buyer pool, and so forth. So essentially, when you overprice it, you're attracting less buyers. That's what that explains. I used to send this one, pricing misconceptions, because I love them. It's not what you paid. It's not what you need. It's not what you want. None of that matters. None of that matters. It's what the market is, what the market is. It's not what you paid for it. I used to have here like a listing procedures, like, hey, what's expect next? Basically, once we're ready to list, like photos, lockbox, pictures, etc. All that stuff would be just listed out there. What I needed from them. Copy of the keys, title, insurance information, home warranty if they have any. So anything, that I needed from them, that's where it would go. And then that was it. And then it was my back sheet. That was 17 pages, including front cover and back cover. You guys will get all this as well, so don't worry. And then I wanted to show you one other place that you can technically get them as well. So I already pulled up in KW Command. Now let me just show you for those that don't know how I got here. So I'm just going to go to KW Command website. Or your CRM, your KW Command Access, and then I just click on designs. And I'm going to go ahead and create a design, top right, and create a design. You can see the one I have pulled up is sitting right there because I already started it. But I'm going to go to create design. We're going to be making a print design. This is the listing presentation. And then it's going to take you to all your design templates that are available for print. Type for me. Then on the left-hand side, under listings, these are all tabs that can be moved or expanded on. So under listings, there's listing presentation. And it has all these templates there. So I have a template open right here that you guys can then edit. These are not, and they're not meant to include every page. So like, for example, page 2 is an instruction page on how to use this. Well, probably don't need that. So I'm going to delete that. After obviously you've used it, I just wanted you to see the fact that how simple it is. Just deleted that page. Now, me personally, this right here, where you put the client's name, the picture of a house, and their, this is complimentary of my name. I don't ever do that because here's the thing. when and not saying you can't, you definitely can. The way I looked at it is this: if I set a presentation with Heather for Friday at 4, I want this out in 5 minutes. When I get off the phone with Heather, I'm sending this out. So it needs to be something that's ready to go. So that's why I never did this. Now,
Yeah.
if you're going to take the time to do it each time, I'm all for it. It's your design. It's whatever you want to include. I just never did. What I used to do was a letter. So I used to have a template for like a thank you for the appointment type of letter. And I would just pop in their name, the appointment date and time. And I did send that out. So again, you can do something like that. But all the idea here is that the company has sheets already for you. And here's another one I would never use. Like on page 5 here, it has a template for like putting the market stats. Again, I wouldn't send that in my pre-listing packet because I need to get that pre-listing packet out right away. Maybe I would bring this to the full presentation. I possibly would, but that's a whole separate training on that, on what to bring with you outside of this. So maybe I would exclude that one. Here's another one I would probably exclude because I don't do my presentation this way. So, but it's there for somebody who wants to design and do the presentation this way. Maybe you want to show the actual comparables in this format, then it's there for you. But when you keep going through here, a lot of these examples I just showed you, there's stuff in there already for us. So here's the process for selling. Here's the template for my marketing plan. Here's what I do. Here's how we find buyers. Here's talks about best-in-class promotional marketing pieces. Here, then you can get into your media plan. So it just lists it just sold postcards if that's a part of what you do. Any other strategic stuff that you do, it can be put in here as well. So this is where now you take the template and say, hey, here's how I run my business, and just make sure that what you do is actually on there. If you have an open house strategy, this is where you would promote it. So the templates are already there for you to essentially just start editing. If you have a promise to your customer, there's a whole, hey, here's my promise to you in there. So there's 5, was it 5? 1, 2, yeah, 5 templates for you guys to play with the design and utilize the one you want. Going back to the one I was just showing you, just to even show you how simple this can be, I can literally click in here and I can start typing and modifying and editing it. You guys see that?
Yes.
And then once I'm done, I'm gonna hit done. Once I put this all together, I'm gonna save my work. And then when I'm ready, I'm gonna hit download, and I'm gonna download that as a PDF document once it's ready to go. Questions on that? I'm gonna stop the screen share because I got 10 minutes, about 9 minutes actually, and then I just want to answer some questions and have some dialogue on what I showed you guys. Let me take the camera off. Talk to me. Questions about a pre-listing packet and what to send out.
Well, my last,
That's spinning. What were you gonna say, Heather?
well, I'm just kind of looking at my last one. I had put in some subjects and comps, but I didn't send it out beforehand. So I'm gonna have to kind of establish a little system of how I release the information and what I'm bringing when.
Yeah. I've seen agents that do that they send out their actual comps and like they do all the work first and then they send it out. I don't, again, I'm teaching you guys off of my method of doing it. Like I know top agents that do it that way. The way I've always done is I pre-sell myself to the pre-listing packet. That way, when we get out there, we can truly just focus on you and your motivation to sell and the price. I spend most of the time just presenting the comps.
So you bring the comps with you to the meeting.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let me hit on a few things with that. So I'm bringing a copy of the pre-listing packet. I'm bringing the market stats. So before I even start the meeting, I say, have you heard of a buyer or seller's market? Do you know which one we're in? I just want to know what they know. And then I get into the stats. Hey, here's how much inventory we have. Here's the list price to close price ratio. Here's the absorption rate right now. Here's what our competition looks like in your neighborhood. There's 20 homes for sale and only 2 are selling per month. Like that's type of information the seller needs to know. Then after stats, I got my comps with me, and I do a quick CMA through the MLS. I have a whole separate video on that in the YouTube channel right now. I do quick CMAs. I don't do full on 10-page packet for my CMAs. So I'll also just watch that video and be on the lookout for future trainings on that. But I do the quick CMA. So I've done stats, I've done a quick CMA, and I'm having a conversation with them around how buyers determine value. And then we're coming to a conclusion of what the price of their home will be. And it's going to go one of two ways. Either they're going to be like, yep, I agree, that's the range where we expected, let's go ahead and list it at 350. Or they're going to say, no, I want to list it at 500,000 because I think my house is worth 500,000. And now the objection that we're really handling is price, the reality about price. And now it's a conversation about that, and how, and you know, that's again, that's a whole separate training on how to overcome pricing dialogue. After we've now determined price, now we're ready to do paperwork. So the only other thing I bring with me outside of the comps and stats are the contract. I bring the contract with me. And some people like to do electronic version for it. I don't. For the listing agreement, I want the listing agreement signed before I get in my car. I don't want to do the whole, okay, I'm going to go back to the office, prep it and send it to you, because I could lose that listing in that time.
Yeah.
Well, when they're ready to say yes to me, I'm going to have them sign the contract right then and there. All the additional supporting documents, HOA disclosures, etc., can be done via electronic signature after the fact, once you're back to the office. And the only other side of the listing contract, I would bring a blank seller's disclosure, so you can have them fill that out as well. Some agents actually even include the seller's disclosure in the pre-listing packet as part of the homework. You can technically, in advance in the pre-listing packet, have your seller's disclosure and have your HOA disclosures.
So I have a question. So if there's, you know, like we email them before the appointment and then they don't look at the packet at all, so would you go over the packet with them, or how would you handle that?
I would revisit my lead sheet about what are the top 3 things that are important to them and the agent that they hire, and I would just focus on those 3.
Okay.
That's what happens. Even it's funny because in recruiting here for the office, it's the same thing that happens. Like there's so much KW can do for you. How do I literally like a listing presentation? So I asked them, well, hey, what's important to you in the brokerage you decide to hire or to decide to sign with to run your real estate business? A lot of that times they'll say, well, training and broker support. Those are the common ones. Whatever it is, then I highlight that in the conversation.
Okay.
Great question. What else? I got 4 more minutes. So are you guys ready to go on a listing presentation this Friday at 4? So here, and it's okay when I hear silence, is because we're thinking about what we need to do to get ready now. What I highly encourage all of you to do, whether we're talking buyers, whether we're talking sellers, is team, evaluate yourself and where you're at in your business, and what you find out what you know and you're great at, you don't need help with, and what you don't. And that way you can make a list of what skills you need to work on or what systems you need to develop. Maybe you already have the skill, but not the system, so that you can begin to develop them in your business. Without that, remember, going back to what I said earlier, your business grows to the extent that you do. This is one of the big differences. You probably maybe have heard people say this before, moving from E to P, or moving from entrepreneurial to purposeful. Yeah. Many of us get through this business very entrepreneurial, like we just kind of do what comes natural to us and we obtain business that way. I mean, there's some agents out there that just waking up, they close 15, 20 deals a year no matter what. And they're not doing anything like very purposeful. Like they just show up and do the little bit that they're doing, and they hit 15, 20 deals. I won't say a little bit like I'm condescending, I'm not. But what I'm saying is then you have another agent who does 15, 20 deals, but they got to go way out of their way to do 15, 20 deals because what it takes to obtain those 15, 20 deals doesn't come natural to them. Doing what's entrepreneurial is what comes natural to you. doing what's purposeful are things that you have to go out of your way to hit on. And when you become purposeful to execute, that's when you break through ceilings of achievements. That's how your business gets to the next level, is when you break out of what comes natural and comfortable to you and go into what's not natural and not comfortable. So for some of us today, it might be, no, it's not natural for me to have a listing presentation, a pre-list pack and all that. Just go in and wing it. I have had top agents tell me, oh, no, just go in and wing it. Like, oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
Imagine when you have a system and model that's duplicatable.
Jeez. That's a scary thought.
It's a game changer. It's a game changer. So I appreciate you guys all. Have no other questions. I'm going to jump off. I got another call at 2:00. This recording will be available on the YouTube channel later today once it's ready. And please visit the channel for some of the other stuff that I've done on either newsletters, how to use the MLS for stats. I've done CMAs on there. There was a great YouTube class last week. I don't know if some of you I think caught that YouTube class from the speaker Sarah that we had that spoke last week. That was a great class. So if you haven't seen that one, definitely go revisit it. And if nothing else, I will see you guys as far as the Naples agents. I'll see you there tomorrow, and then I'll be back here on Marco on Friday.
All right, thanks, Jordas.
All right, guys.
Thank you, Jordas.
If any
Appreciate
other
it.
questions pop